Hello everyone, welcome to this course, Primavera P6 for Beginners. My name is Gavin Drysdale. My background is in project controls, covering the last 25 years. I am based in Australia and my experience covers mega projects in the mining, oil and gas and heavy industries. I have a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering and a master's degree in industrial engineering. The course content applies to all the P6 releases from version 8.3 onwards. I am currently using version 17. So if you are a project manager, project scheduler, project controller, engineer, cost controller, or anyone else who wishes to learn the fundamentals of P6, then this course is for you. You could also be migrating your skills from one of the other planning software packages and want to get up and running quickly in Primavera P6. The objectives of this course cover the fundamental steps required to create your first project in P6. By the end of the course, you will be able to navigate and understand the P6 workspace and menus, understand the enterprise project structure, and create a new project node in the P6 hierarchy. Create a new project, set up your project calendars, build the work breakdown structure, add activities to your project, add schedule logic to your project, complete the steps to create your baseline schedule, understand the fundamentals for layouts in P6, and learn how to customize your layouts. Lastly, this course assumes that all the participants have a basic understanding of the principles of scheduling. In preparing this series of lessons, I have taken care to adhere to the principles of best practice for scheduling. You'll find that the principles of scheduling you will learn in this course follow the guidelines for the DCMA 14-point schedule assessment checking. A simple example would be no negative lags. No negative lags. The use of negative lags is prohibited by many companies today because they are known to cause all sorts of problems, including resource conflicts. So let's get started and open up your copy of P6. When you first open up P6, a login window will appear. In this window, you will enter your login name and password. Then press OK. The next window is your welcome window, where you can select one of the following: create new project, open the existing project, open the last project, or open global data for all projects. For this beginner's course, we start by selecting the fourth option. Click on Open Global Data. You'll notice that your project window will open and will contain all of the current projects in your enterprise. In the next lesson, we'll discuss how to navigate the Primavera P6 workspace. At the end of this course, Lesson 11 will contain details of a real-time schedule that I've personally worked on. Please take the time to carefully construct the schedule, applying the fundamentals you will learn from this course. For this lesson, I would like to give an overview of the Primavera P6 workspace. When you open P6, you will see a full set of tools available in a customizable toolbar that wraps around the P6 workspace. All of these icons can also be found in the drop-down menus as shown. So you can select icons on the toolbars or use drop-down menus to select an action. For example, the project drop-down menu will contain identical icons for your activities or WBS worksheets. Now let's look at this workspace. In P6, there are three main workspace areas. The first area in the upper left-hand corner is the table area. This area is similar to a spreadsheet, and you'll be able to customize and sort all the columns and rows. You can widen columns and rows to suit your preference. The second area on the upper right is the bar chart or Gantt chart area. The top horizontal axis contains a customizable timescale associated with your schedule. Using your mouse, you can move, widen or expand the timescale. The third area across the bottom is the details area. This area is also customizable and displays all of the details associated with the selected activity or project. Now, I've opened my P6 and this is currently in the projects view. My projects are listed in the table area and contains a list of all projects contained in my enterprise structure. We'll talk about the enterprise structure, or EPS, in the next lesson. On the right, there is my bar chart, and down below I have the details associated with the selected project in my table. Click the Activities view. You will notice that the Workspace layout is identical in the Activities view. Here is the table view with all the activities from my schedule, and here is the bar chart with the Gantt bars and timescale. Again, the area below shows all the details associated with the selected activity. When I look at my work breakdown structure view, you'll notice that the layout is the same as the project and the activities views. Here is my bar chart area with bars and details. So you will see that the contents of each workspace are different, but the layouts will always be the same. This is something that will soon become natural for you. If there are any areas which are of concern, feel free to send me a message. In the next lesson, we'll discuss the enterprise structure hierarchy. In the previous lesson, we looked at the overall navigation and structure of the P6 workspace and menus. In this session, we will look at the P6 enterprise structure hierarchy. When you open your P6, a project will normally open by default. We open P6 using the global data view. Firstly, we should understand how the P6 hierarchy works. In P6, there are 4 levels to the project hierarchy. Your first level is the Enterprise Project Structure, the EPS. This is your highest level and allows you to organize your projects based on how your organization is structured. Within each of those EPS nodes, you can store all of your projects. That will be the second level in the P6 hierarchy. The third level is the Work Breakdown Structure, or WBS, and then the fourth level will be the activity level under the work breakdown structure. Let's have a look at how all of this comes together in P6. You'll notice that I have my projects tab open. This will have a list of all of my projects and they are all stored within the enterprise project structure. I can summarize them to give you an idea how this EPS structure is organized. Now, to organize your EPS nodes, you click Enterprise, Enterprise Project Structure. The EPS Project Structure window will open up. You will be able to see the hierarchy in this window. The hierarchy in this window is the same as the hierarchy shown in my table area window. So you'll see that we have Enterprise, E&C, or Energy Services, Manufacturing, etc. in this window. All of these show the same hierarchical structure as this window. On the left-hand side, I have LOB1, LOB2, etc. If I want to move LOB2 up, I click the Up button in this table on the right-hand side. See, I can click the Up button and notice that LOB2 has moved above LOB1. To move it back, you simply use the buttons again. You should familiarize yourself with the use of these buttons on the right-hand side. Similar control buttons will be used throughout this course. Now it is very easy to add an EPS node. For example, you could go to E&C and add your EPS node. Let's call it Office Edition. We would want it as a subcategory under ENC, so I move it to the right using my button. Now let's close this window and open up ENC again, and there is the new EPS node, Office Edition. So to recap, it is in the Enterprise Project Structure window. Within this window, we can add, delete, or move all of the EPS nodes that I have in my organization. It is very important to remember, however, that all of my projects will be stored within one of these nodes. So, if I were to delete one of these nodes, all of the projects within that node will be deleted. On the positive side, if I move any of the nodes, all of the projects will move with that node. So this is the best way of organizing and storing your projects for easy access. To recap, in this lesson you learned how to understand the EPS hierarchy, understand the different levels in the hierarchy, how to create, name and organize a new EPS node, how to add, move or delete an EPS node. In the next lesson we will create a new project in P6. In the previous session, we looked at the enterprise project structure and created an EPS node for Office Edition. In this session, we will now go through the steps of creating a new project. In P6, you open a project by highlighting the desired project in the list and right-clicking and clicking Open Project. Your project will open and the details will be visible in the very top left-hand side of the P6 workspace. Now, how do we create a new project? We select File, New from the drop-down menu. A window will pop up and ask me which EPS node should be used when creating this project. So, click to open the drop-down menu and click on the desired EPS node. Then click the plus sign on the right-hand side to select this EPS node. Finally, click Next, and for this exercise we will give the project a project ID of EC001. Then we will name the project Office Building Edition. Then click Next, Planned Start Date, and a drop-down calendar menu will open. Choose July the 2nd, 2018. I usually leave the Must Finish By field empty. Click Next. You can select a responsible manager if you like. This is defined in your Organization Breakdown Structure, or OBS. We will not be covering the OBS in this course, so I would just use the default field Enterprise. Leave the next fields with their default values. Finally, click Finish and your new project will appear in the list. If we select this new project and examine the Details view at the bottom, we will see all of the tabs associated with our new project. In the General tab, we will see Project ID and Project Name. The Dates tab will show Project Plan Start. The Details tab shows Duration Type, Percent Complete Type, Activity Type. This window contains all of the default tabs. These defaults will determine the settings of any activities in our project. We will cover them in more detail later on in the course. In this lesson, you learned how to create and name a new project. Select an EPS node for your new project. Select the project start date. Understand the relevant tabs in the Details view. In the next lesson, we will go through the steps of creating your project calendars.